Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've done some audio commentary recording, so been thinking of what to share with you guys for this video in particular. So I decided to upload an unedited version of my training segment at YouTube, as well as talk a little bit about the subject of durability and long-term performance on the bike in the interest of low cadence cycling. So whether you're a weekend warrior or training for a grand photo, this is definitely the one for you. Alright, let's start with the basics again. So just want to get a quick reminder for everyone, cadence, which is kind of essential to what we're discussing here today itself, refers to just how many revolutions per minute or RPM that you are spinning on your pedal. A high cadence could range between 90 to 100, which you often see in most of these pro cyclists at that level, and low cadence anywhere in the 60 to 75 RPM range. It feels like you're definitely grinding a heavier gear just for that. Now, again, I just want to stress that both riding styles have their place, but today, specifically just for this footage, I want you to take a quick look at why lower cadence training might actually help build something more important than speed, which is often a very negligible factor that cyclists overlook, and that is actually durability for your health. So what is durability? Durability in cycling essentially means being able to maintain your power efficiency over long duration, especially under fatigue. It's not just about how fast you start, it's also about how strong you finish, and this is where low cadence work really come into play. For myself, I find that if I ride a lower cadence, it put more muscular strain on my leg, forcing my muscle to adapt to higher load. But over time, this builds strength and fatigue resistance, which is actually essential for very long climbs, endurance race, or even simply holding form at maybe in your Century ride, in your RTI or your RDX itself. Just being able to handle that resistance is very critical to how you enjoy cycling from it. Okay, so previous video I will talk about why train at low cadence itself, quite a thorough subject on that, so I'm just going to go through it very quickly. Essentially what it can improve for you is your muscular endurance, torque production, seated climbing ability, and fatigue resistance. Yeah, so how can you incorporate it into your training? Essentially is you can add it once or twice a week to your training by keeping it in a very controlled environment. You don't necessarily have to smash the pedal. Focus on smooth pedal stroke and maintaining good posture with a healthy dosage of resistance from the pedal. And what I mean by that is that it's important not to feel like you're spinning so that your heart rate kind of go up, or rather grinding the gear at such a slow rate itself that you feel like you are straining your muscle really hard just to keep at the same speed or effort that you have intended in your mind. Very importantly is that recovery is the key of what you're looking for here, and the good way to test yourself on that is as you do all these low cadence drills on your own, you also need to make sure that you're also having a quick recovery back to the way you feel when you are fresh off the bike itself. Now, of course, I get audience do ask me privately sometime through YouTube and through Instagram, durability versus recovery, two sides of the same coin. So how do I really break this down for everyone? Okay, so let's put it this way. Durability isn't just about how long you can ride. It's also about how quickly you can bounce back from your effort or the segment that you intended. And that's where recovery really kind of kick in. Yeah. Put it this way. A more durable cyclist, maybe such as yourself, doesn't just perform well deep into a ride. Maybe you find that you recover faster between your effort and even between training sessions or even between training day. Right? That means you can train more consistently with lesser downtime from fatigue, soreness, or burnout. It also helps you think that if you are planning to go for an overseas trip, let's say Taiwan for example, you're looking to do the Taiwan around the island. So I guess it's around like 1,400 kilometer route around it. If every day you're required to ride at least a minimum of 100 km, going through all the scenic route, everything, etc., without the proper form and posture, or even the suitable cycling technique for yourself, you might find that you probably will be sitting more on the van or on the bus, or rather whichever the transport vehicle that's provided, to enjoy the route, where your other friends or other companion may be enjoying their cycling on day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so on and so forth, right? And you do not want to pay money to only ride for day 1. You want to enjoy as much of it as possible as well. Now, why it is very critical, not just from an investment point of view, but also from a health view, is that low cadence work will help you by improving your muscle efficiency and resistance to neuromuscular fatigue. When your body becomes more resilient to strain, you create less internal damage in your muscle, and that means lesser time needed to repair and recover. Crucially, it also means that you are able to be more mindful of the food you take, and more cautious of the quality of food you take for yourself. So say for example, we all love sugar, right? We would love to, after a ride, go to a coffee shop, order probably the sweetest drink possible, order some fried food and stuff, waffles, bacon. Actually, I'm getting hungry just thinking about all this. But what I'm saying is that those are essentially food, but the quality of the food kind of matter in terms of how you do recovery quickly if you're looking to train or ride multiple days on that basis. So very important to take note of that is that at the end of it itself, if you're not recovering well with your plan, your durability goes out of the window for sure, right? You may start strong, but you'll fade fast. I have been an advocate previously of, justifying having large portion of carbo for my meal, post-ride, going for a buffet, going for the stuff, just to justify that I have done enough training to take in all this food on that end from a calorie point of view, but it's just not feasible. In fact, it will prolong the recovery just because of the sugar that I take in that isn't really helpful on that. So at the end of the day itself, what type of recovery or nutrition plan is suitable for you, that is a topic for another day, which I'm able to share in my weight loss journey. But more importantly, to sum it up, it's not about grinding through more miles to achieve durability and recovery. Just want to stress this very clearly. It's about training smart and giving your body what it truly needs to bounce back. Okay, so almost coming to the end of this segment, so I just want to run through a couple of things very quickly. A few tips is that number one, definitely of course train your body to handle the fatigue, and that's where I highly suggest low cadence work coming in to teach your body to push through the strain without blowing up your heart rate. Over time, your body becomes more efficient at clearing lactate and managing fatigue. So even if you're 3 hours into a long ride, you're still able to perform at the level intended, or it may be even better than where you were previously. And tip number 2 is that recovery starts during the ride. Okay, here's something I learned it pretty much the hard way when I had my first bong years ago. Is that if you're not feeling right on the bike, you're just gonna dig a hole. Eating and drinking, or eating often, is kind of crucial on that itself. But I'm not saying, you should go and eat like bakwa, or eat. I seen someone eat a whole Subway sandwich while he's riding on that. So again, no right and wrong, but if you're an endurance ride itself, the general good rule of thumb is to aim for 60 to 90 grams of carbs per hour. That's going to help preserve your legs and keep your engine running much more cleaner in the long run. But of course, I do have my own way of handling this, which is a little bit more about ketone, which I'll share some other time. So last but not least is that the tip number 3, sleep and nutrition are recovery superpower. Yeah, I know it sounds really basic, right? But sleep actually is magic. You're not getting stronger on the bike, you're trying to get stronger between ride. There's a difference here, yeah? So if you're crushing interval but only sleeping 5 hours, guess what? You're actually losing durability. So get your much needed sleep, get some proper protein, preferably not fried protein itself, but some good protein after the ride, and cut back on, you know, back-to-back high intensity days. Remember, it's the consistency improvement over time that build the real fitness on that. Yeah. So thanks for watching to this part of the footage so far. We're almost coming to the end. So just one final thought is that durable rider are consistent rider. So let me know in the comment, what do you do to boost recovery or durability? Yeah, and I'll be happy to share more in my next video. So thank you guys for watching till today.